Live again. I love live, man. Very inspirational. Oh man, thank you to Moon Dancer and it's Miss Kimberly who suggested that I make a brief video prior to going live to give everyone a heads up. So today was my first time doing that. What's up, Football Boots Review? Appreciate you, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you for checking in. Thank you again for all your for adding to the conversation last night, man. Really appreciate that, man. It was great to, start the dialogue with you and get to know you. I appreciate that very much. Um, but again, thanks again to Moon Dancer and to It's Miss Kimberly. It's Miss Kimberly. Everybody respect It's Miss Kimberly because she's got a new profile picture with the hair done just right and looks amazing. All right. So again, if you need waxing, let's gonna open up a waxing business, or if she's single, she's 33, and it's possible that you may be the one for her. All right, check her out, but be respectful. Outside of that, yeah, thank you for again the insight of making a video prior to going live. I think that was helpful. I'm still learning with that, so I'll try to do it a little bit earlier in advance, but it's all good, and so I learned a lot with that. Now, like tonight, like every night I do, I'm gonna have a gym. Yes, laugh out loud, tell them all my. I'm sorry, but it's all love. I mean, they don't really know who you are. I mean, outside of that, but you could, it's all love. It's all love. You may meet the one. You may meet the one on YouTube. You never know. And you can invite me to the wedding, but I think you know me by now. I'm not gonna come. I'm not gonna come. It's not my thing. Love and respect to you too, it's Miss Kimberly. Um, so like all of our live sessions, we're gonna have a lot of fun. I'll structure it around a certain topic, but it's about interconnecting with you guys, man. It's about sharing. You're either driving home from work, you're living in your car, you're living in a mansion, or you know what I mean. You have this on your TV, and say no to obligations. Yes, please check out that video. Just say no to obligations. It's a classic. It made me laugh at myself. You know what I mean? Very good. But we'll structure it around a topic that I want to talk about tonight because it came up in my own personal life. And then we'll just freestyle. If you guys want to talk about something, throw it out there on the chat room. Be respectful. I am about a healthy environment, showing respect to yourself first and respect to others. But it doesn't mean we can't have an uncomfortable conversation. But it's about respect and love, and that's the only way to do things the right way, all right? That being said, what I wanted to talk about today, because I'm going through it in my job, and I go through it every time this time of year in the November area. If you have your own, if you work for someone, if you're working in the private sector, it's open enrollment time for your health benefits. So, you know what I mean? It's overwhelming. That's number one. So I want to say that, sometimes when you get that notification that you got to log in and choose your health plan, it's overwhelming. And so what I want to share with you is don't be overwhelmed. It's not scary. But it reminds me of one thing I learned in my journey was Costco did a study, and it showed, they tried to increase their sales. And to increase sales, what their study shown was anytime you give the consumer more than 3 options, they get overwhelmed and anxious and they don't make a decision. Anytime you give someone more than 3 options, they get overwhelmed and they're not going to decide. So you want to limit options. So instead of like a million different types of ketchup, they only have like Heinz. You know what I mean? Or another one. So you always want to give people 2 options or less. You know what I mean? You don't want to give people too much; they get overwhelmed. And so now that's kind of what it's gotten to in with your healthcare benefits. At least that's what it's got for me. They give you basically 2 different plans. One's the max greatest plan, and one's a basic plan. And you pretty much just log in and either choose those same elections as last year or different ones. But the number one cause, I say all that to say, the number one cause of bankruptcy in the United States of America is medical bills. That's why it's important. I'm not just rambling here. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna share about a lot of stuff, but also we gotta grow. You know what I mean? We gotta be prepared. Number one cause of bankruptcy in America is medical bills. So a couple things you have to learn. One is, especially if you're going to live out of a car, but anywhere, you need medical health insurance, all right? And if you work full time, this is the time of year where you have to do your open enrollment, and you have to pay attention. And even if you had no bills, if you had a $500 a month budget, you always have to budget for healthcare. And hey, JPM Lawn Care is driving home in South Carolina. She's on the road in her Jeep Cherokee part-time, and we respect and love the JPM Lawn Care. And but health benefits, open enrollment, and And being mindful of self-care. Like I was talking about a little bit last night, self-care is the new healthcare, plant-based diet, taking care of yourself. I did a video this morning, quick one, you know what I mean, on what I eat for breakfast, just a couple bananas and a little health bar. I just got done eating dinner, you know what I mean, which is a salad with some vegetables, tofu, red beans, Goya, low sodium red beans, and just a little bit of dressing, if any. Diet Coke, one Diet Coke, and some whole grain bread. You know, self-care is the new healthcare, and you have to take care of your well-being. You have to. You know what I mean? Because financially, it's going to hurt you if you don't. Because even in most cases, your medical coverage is only going to cover so much. You know what I mean? And more in society, it's going to, the onus is on the person that goes to see a doctor. And they want you to pay more out of pocket so that you're not abusing the system. And that's the way it's going, like it or not. So, you know what I mean? And if it's not like that, if you just got healthcare all the time for free, you know, you would just always go. That being said, is that the answer to healthcare? I don't know. I don't know, because at the same time, they tax the hell out of cigarettes, and I still see a lot of people smoking. Very sad. Very sad. And I smoked from the age of 12, just on the weekends, all the way up to the age of 25. And it took me a couple years to go back and forth to quit. And I used to love my Newports. You know what I mean? I used to be in a strip club with a Corona and lime and a pack of Newports, and you couldn't tell me anything. And that was back in the day when you could smoke inside the club. You can't smoke anymore inside of a restaurant or club or anything like that. You know, so, you know, just be mindful too of society. We always talk about too, a lot of nomads, they think outside the box. They don't think society standards. Just remember that decades ago, when cigarettes first came out, doctors and society said they were acceptable and healthy. So you cannot wait until society deems something, whether it's healthy or unhealthy, or you should do it or you shouldn't. You have to think for yourself. You have to. Because if not, you'll smoke for 30 years, people tell you it's safe, and then all of a sudden they tax the hell out of cigarettes, and they tell you that's the worst thing ever, is smoking cigarettes. That's what happens. Society, the system. It's not to be anti-government, and it's not to be anti-society, because I'm not that, but I want you to learn to think for yourself. The system is always a day late and a dollar short. Okay? Always. And you can't bank on the system. If you bank on the system, you'll be waiting for a check for a couple years, and they'll be past due, and they'll be telling you information that isn't 100% accurate. So you have to think for yourself, and you have to be urgent. You have to have a spirit of urgency in life. In everything you do, you have to be ahead of the curve as much as you can, because everything else is going to put you behind the eight ball. And you know, that came on my spirit, you know, today when I was doing my open enrollment, because, you know, it happens every time this year. And of course, my health journey, I've learned a lot about taking care of yourself and eating right, and how that affects everything. But really, with the financial aspect of it, I know a lot of people that got in the hole from medical bills, and it spiraled their life. You know, pretty much in America, credit card debt is kind of like now it's taboo. Credit card debt used to be looked at like, oh, it's totally cool. So again, the system's always a day late and a dollar short. Now everybody knows credit card, you know, debt, as far as not paying it off every month and just paying your minimum. Everybody knows, like, that's, you know what I mean, not wisdom. But now everybody's starting to learn that student loans isn't wisdom, and everyone's starting to learn that medical expenses are one of the biggest things you'll face in life. And if you don't have the proper insurance, and if you're not aware of how the system works, somewhat, I'm not a professional, but as far as in the medical field, but I understand a little bit on how the system works and what you need to do to be insured, et cetera, et cetera. You know, you need to be mindful of that, especially too, like I know it's Miss Kimberly was talking about starting a business. You know what stopped me from also, we talked about a little bit last night, but also what stopped me from going full-time in my own business is because once you get past once you get past just yourself and you have employees on the payroll, then you have to have a level of health insurance to a certain degree. I mean, I know there's a certain standard now, like, you know, 50 employees or less, certain things don't change, but you have to start to have workers' compensation, et cetera, et cetera. And so once you start to employ people, if one of your visions is to live a minimalistic life, to have your own business, health benefits and all that, big part of it. And that's a big cost, but it's a needed cost. So, you know what I mean? But it's something to think about. That's my main thing. I'm going to take a little pause here just to breathe and see what's going on out there in your world. Is there anything out there that you guys went through today and that's on your spirit. If not, I'm going to keep going because there's some things I want to share on. But I want to leave it also as an open forum, as a dialogue. Um, that's important to me. It's time to connect and grow. Um, and we go from there. It's going to be cold tonight. I want to say that too. If you're in the north, I don't plan to have employees. I don't want to be responsible for other people. It's Miss Kimberly. That's a huge thing. And you're going to, like I said, you're going to be in a good business with waxing and personal like self-care as far as cosmetic self-care. You have low overhead and you won't really need that many employees. Um, so you have the possibility to grow somewhat by yourself, but you will also get to a point if you really are successful that you can only do so much. And you will need to hire somebody in some capacity. But that one thing that is a little bit of the equalizer is technology. Technology does allow you now to kind of like be your own secretary, manage your own things because you can do everything pretty much through your phone. So, you know what I mean? You'll have, to grow, you're also going to need help along the way because we can only do so much by ourselves. That being said, too, I want to let everybody, all the nomads that know out there, it's going to get cold tonight. So, in the New York, New Jersey area, next 2 nights, we're getting, it's supposed to be like 25 degrees at night as far as the low. So now I know a lot of people checking in to see, to see how it's going to be. But last night was great. Last night was in the low 30s. I slept like a baby. So again, I want you to know out there, too, if you're thinking about the lifestyle as far as a nomad, not a big deal. Cool weather is not a big deal. And we go from there. But yeah, I mean that's the part too. I mean, you do so much by yourself, and I think too that's part of what attracts people to the simplistic life and the nomad life is they want to be self-sufficient. They don't want to depend too much on others. And if that's something in your spirit, that you think about, you never thought about getting a heating blanket. No, I haven't thought about getting a heating blanket, to be honest. It's Miss Kimberly. I was talking to one guy that he has a house, but he likes to long-term tent camp, and he has a Mr. Buddy heater, gas heater that he uses in his tent. And I said, "Is that safe?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Technically, you could use it in your car if you set it up the right way." Yeah, I did a video, Miss Kimberly said, about layering up, and that's all I did. Because what I share with you is that at a certain point in my youth, or in my teenage years, my house that I lived in did not have heat for 2 winters, only in a couple rooms, and I wasn't in one of those rooms at the time. So I know I can do it because I've already lived through winters in New Jersey without a heat. So it's all relative, right? It sounds shocking, but it's really not that shocking. And I know a couple other viewers had said they'd gone through that. If you layer up, I mean, like I said, if it gets crazy, you know what I mean? I have the money, I'll hit a hotel or something, but I don't see it getting that crazy. And I feel connected with nature. Like I was saying, you ever think about retrofitting a pot belly stove in your ride? What's up, Anthony Norbecker? Respect and love to you, man. I like the profile picture, man. God bless. No, I haven't ever thought. I don't want to do any retrofits, me personally, because I'm content. And I like the base. I like basic. That's my personality, as basic and simple as possible. And that's how I live. And so, for me, for 90 to 99% of the time, it's not going to be extreme weather. If it does get to like an extreme blizzard or something, then I rather just that 1% of time for that week, maybe out of the year total, I'll just stay at a hotel room. I don't want to custom fit my car. Some people like to. So again, respect to you if that's what, some people you'll watch. I mean, you see all the nomad channels out there. Their whole thing, they like to spend most of their time retrofitting their vehicle, as their hobby. They love it. They get excited. They get inspired by, building up their van or building up their car to almost be like an apartment. For me, and I respect that, that's them. But for me, I know myself, I get inspired by simplicity, by a couple blankets, a few quilts, layer up, and keep it simple. And part of the journey to self-fulfillment, love your perspectives on No Man Life. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that, brother, man. Appreciate that. Thank you. And part of the journey to self-fulfillment, to self-happiness, to, excuse me, I got the lights on here, I'm sorry. I know this isn't the greatest lighting, but forgive me. Part of the journey to self-fulfillment and to happiness and to peace and contentment is knowing yourself. Knowing yourself and what you're good at and what you're not. Like I had a great guy I just connected with last night, football boots review. Like he just left a comment on one of my videos, and he said, "Hey Sam, if you're ever interested, maybe you should do like a video called like the day in your life." Like you'll see on many other channels, especially nomads, they shoot like a day in their life, and they edit it up like them waking up in the morning, them going to the laundromat, them putzing around. But I know that's not my strong suit. My strong suit is, dialogue like this. It's talking on specific topics. You know what I mean? Like some people's strong suit is editing, putting music to it, getting drones, and it's not disrespecting them. That they're good at it, and that's part of their creativity. My creativity is the spoken word. My gift is communication. My gift is verbal inspiration. And my gift is I try to be very honest and genuine as much as I can. I'm not perfect either. I mean, we all have our ways. But that's my gift. You know what I mean? Some people that don't have that gift of communication, sincerity, etc., their gift is in the editing world. Their gift is in the, putting the music to them throwing in the laundry inside their hamper and making it seem excited. Now, that's a gift, and you need that escape. But you'll have to understand that's a production. And that is nothing different than a regular TV show or a movie. And the problem with that is, like, I remember Dave Chappelle had that skit when he had the Chappelle Show on the Comedy Central channel. And it was like all music videos at one time were like in slow motion. And what he was saying was everything looks better in slow motion. Like you walk in the club and like the video is like slow motion. Or you walking, you looking at a girl, she looking at you, and you drinking and everything's sexy and like, you know what I mean? But real life is the club is packed, you're barely squeezing through people, smoke is blowing in your eyes, she's not looking at you, you're looking crazy. Edited slow motion is 100% different than real life. And for me, I enjoy more or less the real life perspective. I learn more, I grow more. Now, there's a place in society and in your mind, I feel that you were gifted. Thank you. Well, I appreciate that, Dana Hanna. You've been very Dana Hanna, you've been very encouraging to me, and you're a blessing to me. You're a gift to me. Like I say, all you guys sharing with me and building with me, it's a mutual relationship. Mutual. And that's the only type of relationship you should ever want to be in. I think your way of doing videos sets apart. Thank you. Talk so true. Thank you. Iceberg. Respect and love to you too. Thank you. It's Miss Kimberly. I think the only way you're also going to be happy is healthy relationships. You hear me talking that often. That's why I respect and acknowledge you guys. I mean, it's a mutual thing. It's not a pandering. It's not a I want your donation, so I want to seduce you into this emotional manipulation. I don't like that. You know what I mean? And that's not really love. That's a game. I don't want to play a game with anybody. Okay, like I say, I always give you guys the freedom. Like you guys get tired of hearing me talking, please. I want you guys to bounce in and out. You know what I mean? It's not about pressure. It's not about like, you have to subscribe to me. You have to like me. I want all that, but I don't want it at your expense. And I don't want it at my expense. I don't want to sell my soul to get, you hyped up. And I don't want you to not think for yourself and to not be the best you. And that's part of a healthy relationship, that mindset, all right? And that mutual respect and that mutual freedom. And, that's what it is for me. And it took me a while to learn that. It takes a while to learn that. Like I said, I'm 37 years old now. And part of my wisdom comes from fucking up, okay? Part of my wisdom comes from seeing different things in life. Part of it is God-given, and part of it's research, and part of it's through the help of others. It's a combination, and that's what yours would be. That's what anybody with any type of insight will be. That being said, like I said, never forget, number one cause of bankruptcy in America is medical bills, all right? Take care of yourself, that's number one. Number two is it's open enrollment. Don't put that off. Don't put that off. Just because you feel like there's too many choices, you don't want to look at it, you don't want to look at your 401k, you don't want to know what you're invested in, you have to know. And you'll understand. Look at Sarah. Sarah's in the building. We all love Sam. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. Sarah, thank you. Thank you. The beautiful Sarah from the West Coast. Like I said, it's Miss Kimberly is single in Texas. And let me tell you something, guys. If you want to holler at her, get at her. And I don't think Sarah wants a long-term relationship, but let me tell you something. Sarah's beautiful. Have a good night. Linda, have a good night. All right? And I appreciate you very much. Thank you, Linda. Have a good night to you also. Love and respect. Sarah's a beautiful girl from the West Coast, but I don't think she wants a long-term relationship. But if you were interested and she was interested in you, she's got high standards, so you better look hot. All right? But respect and love to Sarah. Yeah, we're just, you have to take care of yourself. That's number one. And you have to have, I think it is Miss Kimberly. It's all love. It's Miss Kimberly. Oh, man. But self-care, man, yeah, that's the new healthcare. And again, not just physically, emotionally. Just give a shout out, you know what I mean, to the single beautiful women, and I'm single and all that. And some people want a relationship, some people don't. But what I will tell you is this, within relation to healthcare and to health and well-being, is that don't underestimate the damage of emotional stress. Okay? Okay? You think eating salad and going vegan or being a vegetarian will change your life until you get into an unhealthy relationship and you got to break up with somebody and you're stressing to the point where you don't even want to eat. And your whole being, every fiber in your body is screaming. I've been there. Oh. And you try to play music, and I'm a proponent that music heals the soul, and even the music don't heal the soul. I mean, your soul, you feel every fiber in your body, you know what I mean, like exploding, burning. Speak that truth. I'm speaking. Thank you, Miss Kimberly. Thank you. And you know it. I mean, we all go through it, no matter what situation in life we're in. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I connected with, old, young, in the middle, want a relationship, don't want a relationship. Everybody has been through that. And some people still living with that. I remember at 8 years old when my parents finally got divorced, I basically pushed my mom. I said, Mom, because it started to affect me. And I saw the unhealthiness of the relationship. And, even though I remember me personally, been there many times. Yeah, it's Miss Kimberly. We all have love and respect to you. As I remember, like, my father smashing dishes, like this time, like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, it's in Eastern time. That's what it is for me, wherever you are. Now, this time when I was about 8 years old, my father would just get home from work. My mother was getting ready to set the table. And my father was so strict. He wanted everyone to sit down at that table and eat dinner together. And my mom was like more liberal. She said, well, if the kids want to watch cartoon, don't force them, et cetera, et cetera. And that disagreement, and that, they just had different ways of viewing life. And them not being in sync and caused a lot of negative spirit, caused a lot of unhealthiness, and it rubbed off on the kids. Like I was saying, I was with somebody over the weekend, and they had a lot of anxiety. I could feel that shit rubbing off on me. When I'm 8 years old, like I still realized how unhealthy it was. And that pain, that spirit that was going between my mother and father, that disagreement spirit, that different direction, okay? There's a scripture that says, how can two people walk together if they're going in different directions? They can't. People have to be on the same page. And people have to have the similar interests. That matters. You know what I mean? I look, believe me, you think I don't like hot people? I love hot chicks. But you know what? I learned the mistake that shit, that hotness and that vein, as far as like, passion and all that only lasts so long. And then when that's gone, and then you realize that this person has fucking nothing in common. Like you think it's exciting in the beginning that this person got nothing in common with you. I lost 200 pounds of stress. Yeah, that'll do it. In 12 years ago, I got divorced. Divorce is one of the hardest things in life. I love being single. Love your videos. Thank you, Dana. Divorce, man. I think divorce is probably one of the hardest things to go through. Even if, like, in my situation for my parents, it was needed, and believe me, it was needed. It was very unhealthy. And years later, everyone acknowledged that they needed to get a divorce. I still have compassion and empathy that will leave a scar on your soul the rest of your life. You will heal, though. You will heal. And I did get Shayna, and I don't know if I'm saying your name right, but Shay, I'm gonna call you Shay from the UK. Downloaded the HTLM, and now she's able to do live stream. Shay, I'm gonna call you Shay because I don't want to pronounce that wrong. Shay, thank you. Shay's a great woman from the UK who does full-time RVing on her family's property, I believe. And she's just a positive person, very inspirational. She had a husband into, I believe, I don't know what it was, native belief or something like that, but she's a great person. So welcome, Shay, welcome. And thank you for, you got that, you can do it, okay? And so you can download a link that you didn't think you can do. You can, you know what I mean? Everything in life is showing up. Once you show up to your job, you're welcome. Once you show up to your job, that's the hardest part. But mentally, there's a mental barrier before you get to that job. Once you open up your human resources link to your open enrollment and you start going, it will be easy. The hardest part is starting in anything in life. And showing up, just starting the process will break down that mental barrier. But many times we start to build up this imaginary wall in our mind that it's too overwhelming. And once you have decided that it's too overwhelming, oh, you're done. You won't begin the work that you need to begin, whatever it is. Whether we're talking about open enrollment for health benefits, whether we're talking about downloading a link so you can watch the live feed. It's Miss Kimberly. I don't understand how people love being single. I like it, but I can't see myself being single. And Miss Kimberly told me how to pause that so I could read the comment long. But I can't see myself being single forever. I guess if you have always been in a relationship, then it would be great. Again, that goes back to personal preference, right? Some people look at me living in a car, they say, Sam, I don't get it, okay? And some people say, bam, I love that simplicity. It's all relative. Now, for me, like I say, that's why life is about knowing yourself. And that takes many years, and it takes failure, okay? So, for me, 37, I don't mind a little bit of companionship here and there, but I know I do not want the commitment of a relationship. This commitment here, just going live, is all I want. This fulfills my social need to connect and to share. But at any time that when I get excited and inspired about this, I can hit that finish button. At any time, if you're not feeling me anymore, you can exit this chat and you don't have to hear my shit. But once you're in a relationship, there's no easy exit. Yes, you will see some beautiful things. Yes, a relationship will be a blessing. But even two people who have similar interests, who are evenly yoked, who are positive, productive, great, God-loving, or whatever-loving people, it's work. I don't want that work. I don't even want to worry about a hot water heater. You think I want to worry about a relationship? No way. But I know me. That being said, I will say this. If some people weren't in a relationship, they would drink themselves to death. They would self-destruct. Because some people need someone else. We're all different, okay? We started talking about politics last night. And what did we learn? That we're all respectful, loving people, but people just have different perspectives. And so you have to know you. That's step one. And if you know that, you desire a relationship because it plays to your strengths. Like I said, Football Boots Review said, maybe you should do a video like this type of way. And it was a great suggestion. But what I've known now is I know my strengths. And I may do something like that, but I know what the majority of my time will be spent in things like this because this is my strength. Okay, so in life, you want to identify what your strengths are and then you want to play to them. Now, if your strength is being in a relationship, if your strength is you are better when you were with somebody else, it keeps you from drinking, it keeps you from doing reckless behavior, but you don't lose your own identity and you don't put anybody on a pedestal, and you want to have a family, you want to share, and you want to build together, then I say God bless. And I wish you well on that journey. If you know that you like the majority of the time by yourself, that you don't want to put in the work of a relationship and you don't want to deal with anybody else's shit, then I say stay single. Now again, whatever you believe, but I'm going to share here my personal faith is Jesus had a scripture where he told his disciples, look, to be honest with you, it's better to stay single, but not many people can handle that truth. And look it up. It's in the New Testament. I'll give you the verse if you want it. And many people, and even Paul the Apostle said that in the book of Corinthians, it's better that you stay single. Better for most people, but a lot of people can't accept that. But there's no right or wrong answer. Paul said it and Jesus said it. There's two different scriptures. Paul was talking to the Corinthian church and Jesus was breaking it down to his disciples. But I don't want to get over religious on anybody either, but we talk about everything. Bottom line is, what they were trying to say is once you, and this is what Paul basically says, once you get into a relationship, your interests are divided. You not only have to worry about yourself, you have to worry about others. And then your time dedicated to doing maybe charity work or doing things that are positive to society, however you define it, that time's limited because you only have so much time. We talked about that in the past, about opening up your own business. If you open up your own business and you have a regular job as your net income, you can only do that so long because your interests are divided. And, no matter how wise you are, no matter how beautiful you look, no matter how handsome you are, no matter how wealthy you are, all of us, excuse me guys, if you join the live streams, they go in and out based on the reception, but I'm back. What I was saying was, no matter how wealthy, no matter how beautiful, no matter how handsome, no matter how wise any of us are, we all have one thing in common. We all only have 24 hours in a day. You can only divide that 24 hours up in so many pieces of the pie. And like we've talked about in the past, there is a section of that pie that you need for yourself. Because you need to be fulfilled and you need to have an overflow of compassion and love so you can spread it healthy to others. Relationships fail because you don't have enough you time. Your kids are taking you in one direction. Your spouse is taking you another direction. You haven't filled up your own tank, and then you blow a gasket. And then you say some harsh shit to somebody, and then the relationship ends because you start to go past a point that there's no repairing that relationship. In my opinion. But relationships are beautiful if you want them, and if you know you're not good at them, that's also beautiful. I am not telling you there's one right or wrong answer. My message is know yourself. Know your strengths. Play to them. And then be honest enough to say that nothing in this world is perfect. Being in a relationship isn't perfect, and being single isn't perfect. What is best is knowing yourself and playing to your strengths. Okay? Backing up on some comments here. And JPM Logan, thumbs up. Well, being single is beneficial for some people so that they can accomplish certain things. Relationships aren't for everyone. That's right. But again, if a relationship is for you, you should do that. You should do you. You should fulfill what's in your heart. Because there's beauty in a relationship. Hell yeah, there is. And there's beauty in sharing special moments. There's beauty in having kids. So certainly, if that is your desire, I would say go after it. So again, if you're single and you're in Texas, Houston specifically, you better holler at Miss Kimberly, because with that profile picture, some guys are going to hit her up, and you may be too late. Okay? And that being said, take a breath. All right? Take a breath. I hope you guys had a good day today. I don't know, if the majority of you work a full-time job, or if, yes, Mrs. Kimberly, I hear you. Or if, you do your own businesses, or if you're creative, and you do whatever, or if you're retired. The age group varies on the people that we talk to on this channel, so it's all based on that. But you have to, no matter what you do in life, you have to find things that speak to your inspiration and stay productive, because idle time is the devil's playground. Okay? Idle time is the devil's playground. You think everything's going good, and when you're bored, you're going to do some reckless shit. All right? When you're bored, you're going to do some reckless things. You're going to text the wrong person, and you're going to eat the wrong thing. Never forget that. Okay? When it's 9 o'clock at night, and you start looking at your phone, you scroll through those contacts, and you just want a high of somebody messaging you back. Let me tell you something out there. All right? You think you're the only one that got that picture, private message text? That picture went out to a lot of other people. Okay? Dear son. Okay? That picture went out to a lot of other people. And, amen. Now I'm preaching this, Miss Kimberly. You know what I'm saying. All right? So, that picture that you got in a text message that you thought was just for you, and I'm not talking about sexual either. I am talking about a regular picture, okay? And that picture is not even current. That picture may have been from 3 weeks ago, okay? But that picture was in the archive. Why was it in the archive? For when I was down in the dumps and I need somebody to respond and say, that's a great picture, okay? So, what am I saying? Be careful with idle time, okay? Be careful with anything that happens after 9 p.m. Whatever time zone you're in, that's universal language of wisdom, okay? After 9 p.m., be careful, okay? And be that inner child playful. You got to have your inner child. Iceberg, you got to have your inner child. Part-time working on the cruise ship terminals. Wow, that's an interesting thing in Southampton. And staying single. Never be tempted to contact an ex. That's a hard one. Good point, though. Good point, Shay, from the UK. Not engaging your ex is going to be, you thought it was hard not to go in and that extra chocolate or that extra ice cream in your freezer or whatever, type of thing tempts you. When you break up with an ex, it's very hard. And you need 3 months of complete separation, okay? 3 months, absolutely no contact. That's the only way to heal. Every time you initiate contact with an ex-lover, you reset the clock of you hurting. You need 3 months of no contact just to heal, just to get you to back to zero. Be careful out there, man. Keeping an ex as a friend is very dangerous, especially in the beginning. Down the road, once you heal and you have regained perspective and you've refound yourself, maybe. Not in the beginning. Not unless you want an endless cycle. And I have compassion if you do go through the endless cycle, because it took me a while to break it. And cycles are hard. Cycles are hard to break. So it's no judgment. And you have to experience it. You have to experience it. An ex contacted me a few months ago. He keeps trying to crawl back, but no. That's not easy. And it's Miss Kimberly. Like I said, I believe you're a very wise woman. Um, Now we all know too. There's wisdom, and then when we get hit in the mouth with emotion, wisdom goes right out the door. So I give you a lot of credit. You need the grace of God too, because emotions take the most knowledgeable person to a dark place. Okay? Don't be tempted, Kimberly. That's right. Shay knows. Shay's speaking the truth. And Shay, you have a very interesting life too. I didn't know you worked on port terminals part time. That's very cool, man. Very, very cool. Very cool. It's hard. It's hard. You know, it's hard to get over an ex. I mean, there was a Seinfeld episode that basically said that you have to go through 2 breakups with the same person before it sticks. You go through the initial breakup, and then there's a little bit of separation. And then you go back with them, and then you have to break up again before it actually starts to stick. That's true. That's true. Hard to heal emotionally, okay? And we go from there. We go from there. But taking care of ourselves, and we get back to a little bit to the subject of number one cause of bankruptcy is healthcare bills. So don't just think of healthcare and McDonald's. You better think of healthcare and emotional well-being. Going through a nasty separation, whether it's a divorce or whether it's, you know what I mean, fucking with somebody you shouldn't fuck with, you know what I mean, texting somebody you shouldn't be texting, sending a mass picture out to like, you know what I mean, 20 people just to see how many response you can get so you can get a high. Dangerous. And that's going to hurt your health. You think it won't? It'll hurt your physical health. You will stress out. I mean, you think, you know what I mean, you want to go on a diet? Go on a breakup diet, which is basically like stress fever. Oh, it kills you. Makes you not even want to eat. And that hurts your stress is the silent killer. Stress is the silent killer. You know, part of the nomad life is to simplify your life because you understand how serious stress is. Whether it's working 2 jobs, whether it's having too many bills, or whatever. We've never each other for 10 years, but he consistently tries to get back. 10 years is a long time for knowing somebody. But after 10 years, he keeps trying to get back with me. It doesn't work out with his ex-girlfriends. I don't even have his number. Well, that's wisdom not having his number. And some people, there's going to be once in a while where you actually need to change your number. Because let me tell you something, blocking your number doesn't do anything, and you know it. Blocking your number doesn't do anything, and you will unblock that number at any time when you're starting to feel lonely. There's going to be certain people, very rare, so not often, but you're going to have to totally change your number. And with Sprint, I can say you can change your number free up to 3 times per month, okay? Because I have had to do it once recently, okay? You can change your number for free online, right on the Sprint.com. And there's going to be some people that you know it's going to be unhealthy if they try to establish contact in any way. You need to totally change your number, okay? You want to talk about healthcare? Change your number, okay? Please. As I look at this, it's evening rush hour, like I was sharing with you last night. I like to just, you know what I mean, I like to go in and out of my zones. But, you know, people are fighting to get home. Traffic is wild. And JPM Lawn Care may be driving home. Room for one more in that Renegade. God bless you, CR. But this Renegade's a 1-seater, baby. I re-engineered it. That back seat completely down. This front seat's for storage. This is a 1-seater Renegade. That's how I like it. That's how I like it. Unless an absolute emergency, I'll take somebody to the hospital. But other than that, nobody else is coming in. Okay? But I appreciate that, CR. Love and respect to you. Do you live out of your car? Anyone here live out of their car? Yeah, let us know. Let us know what type of car you live out, how long you've been doing that. Laugh out loud. You gotta laugh, man. Laughter is good for the soul. Okay? So, you know what I mean? Sometimes I'm very serious, very passionate. Sometimes I'm very calm. Sometimes I'm silly. You gotta have that well balanced, man. You don't want to, you don't want to live, no, all right, respect to you, CR. That's okay. Everybody has their different journey. 10:38 p.m. here, rush hour gone. Shay from the UK. I don't know what part of the UK. It's Miss Kimberly. It's 2016 Toyota Camry. I don't know if you couldn't live out of a Camry. Now I know Miss Kimberly, she's a great viewer. I really love her, but I know she lives in an apartment. So, you know, I don't think you could live out of a Camry. You'd have to see if the seats go all the way down, and you probably have to remove the passenger seat. UK, wow, yes, it's amazing. Last night, we had the brother from the Netherlands, and Shay is from the UK. I don't know what part of the UK Shay is from, but people all over the world. That's the beautiful part about YouTube. Yes, there's some negativity. Yeah, just like everything, there's a 10% negative, okay? But there's a 90% positive, and you have to focus on that. And you have to embrace that. There's people from all over the world sharing their journey with us, and we're connecting, we're learning from each other, and we're realizing we're all the same, right? Whether you're in New York, whether you're in the UK, whether you're in Texas, whether you're in California, we have a common thread, okay? There's something inside of us that links us. And a level of connection. Now, everyone has to define for them how much connection they want with others, because some of us need more quiet time than others. But a level of interaction and a level of connection is healthy. This video, the main structure was focused around healthcare. It's open enrollment season for your healthcare benefits. And the number one cause of bankruptcy in America is healthcare bills, okay? So taking care of your health is paramount. Paramount is very big, is what I'm saying. The world's getting smaller. Yeah, the world's getting smaller. We're interconnected. I'm from Southampton, Hampshire, South England. Now, I don't know where that is, Shay, specifically. I've never been to England. I can tell you I was in love with Sade. And Sade, I think, was from England. Are you anywhere near? I don't know if you know Sade. She was an R&B singer. I love Sade. Do you know Sade? Are you anywhere near her hometown? I think she was from the UK. That's just a side bit. Everybody likes different music. I respect if you like, yeah, laugh out loud. Sade I still listen to Sade and get inspired, especially in the morning. Because in the morning, I got to get my mind, you know what I mean? I got to get my Starbucks, and I got to get a little bit of Sade in before I hear any type of work requests, before I read any negative comment. I wake up and somebody like fucking blasts me on a video I did about like living out of my car. Somebody gets upset. I gotta have my coffee and my Sade, because God forbid, sometimes I'm gonna block people off the door. Because I'm like, come on, B, if you don't like it, just keep it moving. I mean, do we really have to go there? And come on. Like, as far as like an internet gangster, come on, I'm not playing that game. I mean, I don't even want to act tough. I mean, it's just crazy. Come on. That being said, yeah, Starbucks. I love Starbucks. Now, Sam, what type of Starbucks do you like? I only get one type, because you can really get unhealthy in Starbucks. Let me tell you that too, okay? The type of Starbucks I like is a large pike or medium pike. Okay, pike is like the roast. There's light roast, there's medium roast, and there's dark. I like medium roast. It's called pike. And I like the magical part for me with Starbucks is their soy milk. They have proprietary soy milk that is magical. And it's probably a little bit sweetened. It's got a little bit of sugar in it. But I don't add sugar to my coffee. I get a medium or large pike, and I get soy milk on the side. I add a little bit of that soy milk to the coffee. I mix it around, and then I drink that soy milk in the side little cup as I go. And I listen to some R&B, and then I'll reflect on my day. And then I got to get myself worked up. I got to get myself inspired. I got to read something. I got to watch something. I got to listen to music, and I got to push forward. I hate soy milk, but I love almond milk. Well, respect to that, it's Miss Kimberly. I did almond milk for a while. And I didn't like soy milk either. So I agree with you. And I think almond milk, especially if you get unsweetened, is a little bit healthier. Okay? It's plant-based. So is soy, but soy has a little bit more saturated fat in it. And they all have sweeteners depending on what type you get. So be mindful of that. The amount of sugar the average adult male should have per day, added sugar. Added sugar meaning refined sugars, not sugars found in bananas. That's natural occurring sugars. The amount of sugar a male should have per day, added sugar, is 38 grams. The amount of added sugar a female should have per day on average is 25 grams, okay? So when you read those food labels, you look on the back and you look how many added sugar grams are on that food. 38 are allowed for male per day and 25 for a female. Now, I probably go over. I used to be real lean. Like I said, right now I'm probably a little bit moderately overweight. I'm 200 pounds, just about 6 foot. But I'm very healthy, and I'm, for the most part, I'm in great shape. But be mindful that sugar will kill you more than even fat. Sugar destroys your body, man. I mean, it's just very unnatural for your body to digest, and it fucks with your cells, okay? Yeah, so, I mean, that's what I was saying. That's the type of Starbucks I like. I try, the average, how many cups of coffee are you allowed per day? I researched that. No more than 4 8-ounce cups on average. That's the average caffeine intake. You know what I mean? Caffeine's in everything. Caffeine's in soda. Caffeine's in, chocolate. I mean, caffeine is in a lot of things, so be mindful of that. But we all have a little bit of a vice. It's like I was chopping it up with Jagger JF01 and about the banana video I did this morning. He's like, yeah, more bananas and less protein bars. And he's right, because those protein bars have a little bit of sugar in them and they're processed. There's a documentary on Netflix about sugar. I forgot the name. Yeah, I don't know that one, but like I said, the one on Netflix that changed my life was Forks Over Knives. I've shared that many times. I definitely recommend watch that. Now, it'll change your life, but then, you know what I mean, the next day, you'll be feeding for some dark chocolate. So, movies have impact on you, but there's nothing like consistency. And consistency is hard, and saying no to sugar is hard, saying no to unhealthy food is hard, saying no to your ex is hard, okay? Saying no to that text after 9 o'clock is hard, okay? There's a difference between knowledge and emotions. And emotions can override knowledge very quickly. I've been there, I failed. And it's a wild thing. What's your favorite protein bar? Well, I don't really eat a protein bar. I'll show you what it is. It's a Health Warrior bar. I buy them from Target. And excuse me, I'm gonna start my car a little bit too, because I can get these lights on. I'll burn my battery up, and then you have to come get me. It's called Health Warrior Bar. Okay, I know you can't maybe read that properly. It's coconut flavor. It's got 4 grams of sugar. It's about 100 calories per bar. Small little bar, and it's a chia seed based bar. I mean, it's probably like the healthiest bar you can get. I don't eat any type of like protein bar. I don't believe in GNC. I don't believe in like the Vitamin Shop. That's to me all snake oil, and it's highly concentrated added vitamins in an unnatural form that I believe can hurt you more than help you. And if anything else, they're non-serving. Most vitamins and most nutrition you can get from natural foods, whole foods, okay? And a plant-based diet will do you right. I mean, you define it how you want to define it, and we all need a little bit of cheating. I'm certainly not going to tell you to live a life without any sweetness, but whole foods, whole foods meaning whole grains, okay? Meaning it's a whole food, it's not processed, okay? Processed food means you change it from its natural state. Example, you take a banana and you put it in a blender to make a banana shake. You've processed that banana. It's not a whole food anymore. It's no longer in its whole natural state, okay? It's in a processed state, okay? So that's what whole foods means. It's not just like that Whole Foods, the ShopRite type Whole Foods, the supermarket that Amazon recently bought. Whole Foods means that it's whole in its natural state. It hasn't been processed. And once you put something in a blender, if you got like a NutriBullet and you think like that NutriBullet changed your life, it didn't change your life. It just processed more fruit. That's all it did, okay? I meant, where do you get your bar from? Target. Okay, Target. All right, Target. That's right. That's the only place I can find them. How was your day, bro? Oh, boots review. It was overall positive. Work was a little bit busy. I did my open enrollment for my healthcare, like I started sharing in the beginning of this video. Healthcare in America, #1 cause of bankruptcy as far as healthcare bills. That being said, overall day was positive. I feel great. I feel inspired. Work was productive. It does feel good being productive. You want to be a productive person. I talked to my mom. My mom leased a new car today. So, that was a little bit stressful. Every time you go to buy a new car, you could have spent all day in a dealership. Okay? I don't care how much pre-research and negotiation you do. And the biggest thing with a lease is you're always going to fight, trying to put down nothing. So just be mindful of that. But you always have to prepare yourself when you go to get a new car. It's an all-day event. What's better for a car? Clarify that, brother. I'm not sure what you mean. What's better for a car? Oh, financial lease. I've done both. I'll say that, brother. Football boots review. I've done both. I've financed and I've leased. I personally believe it's all based on you, but I personally believe over the long term, buying is better because buying creates equity. That being said, after 5-7 years, you're going to have some problems. If you keep your car more than 5 to 7 years, it's a plus. If you're going to trade your car in every 3 years, then you're going to lease. But if you're going to lease, then you better not drive more than 12 to 15,000 miles a year. So it's relative to your lifestyle and it's relative to your long-term goals. On average, I tend to lean towards purchasing. Every time I financed, I end up in a vicious cycle of debt and not good. For me personally, you may have a different story. And what I will share with you, because a lot of times when you lease, you're going to lease a car that is above your means because the payments are lower. Because the reason they're lower is because you don't have equity in a car. You're renting that car. For some people that may work. They may not, but on average it doesn't pan out long term for you. So that's what I would say about that. Be mindful of that and how long you keep a car, how many miles, and you're not going to have any equity, and you're going to always have to come with some type of cash to the table. On average, the average person shouldn't buy a car or lease a car that's more than MSRP $30,000. Okay, that's my general rule of thumb. Because 80%, I'll say, of Americans, 80%, the average salary in America average is $50,000 a year. Okay, so maybe I say in populated areas such as the East Coast, New York, California, Texas economy is booming right now. I know a lot of people there. Virginia economy booming. Maybe most people make 75,000, 80,000. But bottom line is you shouldn't be paying more than 25 to 30% of your income. You shouldn't be paying for a car. So if you have a car and its MSRP is more than $30,000, you've reached above your means, in my opinion. And I've done both. I've done both. So I've lived above my means. You don't want to live that life. And I've lived below my means, like I currently am. And you live a much better quality life, living a simple life. Now my car, like I said, I paid $27,000 for it. I didn't get the base model. I got a little bit upgraded model. Like I got heated seats. Right now the heats are seated. Like, my butt and my back, you know what I mean, feel like I'm on a massage chair. It feels great. Now that's a add-on, but $27,000 I paid for this one. Let me read some comments here. I know I'll start to yappy yap. No Man's Land, good name. It's all depending on your mileage. That's good. Mileage is a huge point. That's an excellent point. You're right. This is the most important. That's a huge part of it. I would definitely agree with that, No Man's Land, and I like your name. Very creative name. I like that. CR, my people have always purchased brand new. Yeah, I tend to lean brand new too. I don't like used. I understand the argument that used, you get a better deal, but everything's relative. You get what you pay for, and I don't want headaches. So I'm in agreement with you, CR. I tend to lean new too. So we're on the same page on that. If your credit is good, you'll get a low interest rate, minus 2%. Yes, credit plays a big part. Now, I had shitty credit at one time. I don't even know. The score was basically zero. And you know how much I paid to finance a car? They wouldn't finance a old car for me. They would only finance a new one, almost 21% interest, okay? You know what my interest rate right now is? Zero, okay? So credit makes a big difference. My credit is great, but at one time it wasn't. And there's many end of the year sales because the best time to buy a car is in the middle of the winter, as far as in America. I can't speak for other countries. And so right now you'll see like Chevy or whoever, they'll have a lot of 0% interest for 72 months, okay? 0% APR. APR means annual percentage rate or something like that. But either way, if you have great credit, you can get that 0%. But if you don't have great credit, that's just a marketing scheme to get you in the door. You have to have, definitely above 700, above 750, okay? So be mindful of that. I've done both. I purchased my car brand new. I'm in agreement with that. I'm turning off my heat because I start to feel like I'm in Florida, even though it's going to be 25 degrees tonight. And it's Miss Kimberly said, I purchased you better respect it's Miss Kimberly's hair game, all right? Now, I don't know if that profile picture is a little bit filtered up, like, with the angle, because angle makes a big difference. Like, I show you from one angle, I look super sexy. I show you from another angle, I don't feel good about myself. But the angle she has on her hair game right now, Miss Kimberly, again, she's single and she's from Texas. You guys better show her some love. She wants a family, okay? And if Sarah Mitchell's still on, I'm telling you right now, you guys on the West Coast, you're missing out. She's a beautiful woman. But I don't think she wants a relationship, in my opinion. But she may. I don't know. I purchased my car brand new for the first time last year. And no filter. Well, she got no filter, you guys. Brand new for the first time. It was scary, but I'm glad I did. I agree. Dang. All right. Natural light, no filter. Well, if she got natural light, no filter, you guys, hook up. Oh, hook up. Football boots review. He may be in the game, okay? So, you gotta have a little fun, guys. You gotta laugh, and you gotta joke. And one time in my life, too, I was too serious, okay? And I remember that when I had met a girl, she respected how serious I was, but she also added a softness to me. You need to be able to laugh at yourself and laugh at the situation a little bit. Just knowledge and just wisdom without a sense of humor is no good. You're going to take yourself too serious. You're going to take this world too serious, and you're not going to be happy. I laugh at myself a lot, and I try to set a positive environment for, like, lightheartedness sometimes. Sometimes, I get raw and intense, but I balance it. You want to have fun, man. You want to laugh a little bit because, life is better when you're laughing a little bit. Now, you got to take some shit serious, okay? But I want to add balance, and I want to laugh. I want to have a good time with you guys. I want to joke around. I respect every one of you, and please always know that. And I don't believe in sarcasm. I don't believe in disrespect. But I want to be able to laugh. I think that's magic. I really do. Okay, I'm going to go back in the comments here because I missed a few. Don't listen to them. Look at Miss Kimberly. She don't really want to be in a relationship, okay? Miss Kimberly, 33, she's still single. She always wants to be single. She's like me. I think, maybe not. But she wants a relationship. You know what a girl told me one time? She goes, Sam, you don't really want a relationship. You like the idea of a relationship. And she broke me down. I don't really want a relationship. Sometimes I want the idea of a relationship. Big difference, okay? Big difference between a relationship and the idea of a relationship, okay? And so I think it's Miss Kimberly, this is my opinion. I think you like the idea of a relationship, but I don't think you like the real thing, okay? So 33 and single, because you know what it is. Real relationship, a lot of work, okay? I'm only 19, bro. Oh, football boots review, that's all right. Hey, only 19, respect and love to that, but I respect that I respect that humility, okay? Respect to you, football boots review. And CR, I'm thinking about going on the road. Okay. Selling a house within the next year. Okay. I'm 57. Respect to you. A single female. God bless you. Okay, CR. I'll be traveling to find the best place to settle down. Great point, CR. That's what I want to share with you, CR. If you are going to simplify your life and live on the road, and however you're going to evolve into that, my opinion, you do what you want. Find a place that you want to live and then make that place work. Don't live somewhere that doesn't inspire you. Don't live in the mountains if you like the beach. Don't live in the beach if you like the mountains. When you reset your life and you downsize, that is your chance to live in the place you always wanted to live. If you know like the beach calls you, don't settle, but when you're in a car, you can live in a campsite 20 away and you can stay all day in the beach because you're not in a rush to go back to Walmart, right? So when you live in a car, the world is basically at your feet. So, I almost correct myself a little bit. Like when you buy a house, you have to buy in a mile radius of kind of where you want to be. When you live in a car, the world is your oyster for the most part. As much gas money as you have, you go wherever you want. And so, good luck on your journey, CR. Great comment. Yeah, find somewhere that inspires you. That, like you see that quote all the time on social media. Go to the place that sets your soul on fire. I agree with that. For me, I always say it's the beach. I'm not going to say beach bum because I don't like the word bum, but I would say I'm a beach guy, man. I love that beach. And that's where, when in my off time, when I don't need to be around business activities, that's where I spend most of my time, at the beach, okay? I'm going to see Sarah. I see Sarah. I'm too picky. I know Sarah's too picky. But Sarah's hot, okay? So you guys that don't know Sarah, I know that. But Sarah's hot. And when you're hot, you can be picky, okay? And that's why a lot of guys, I'm sure she's broke their heart. When you're hot, you're going to be more picky. And that's just the way it is. And you got to deal with that. But that's why I also, even though I've had my opportunities with a few hot people, I've been rejected by, many too. So I'm certainly not prideful. Is that I don't want to deal with that high maintenance. It's like a hot car. Okay, I don't want the high maintenance of a Jaguar, and I had a Jaguar. I like the simplicity of a, hot person gonna be a little bit more high maintenance, and you gotta respect that. And why are they high maintenance? Because they got more options. Okay, and Sarah's hot, so that's why she's still single too. She knows she got options. Laugh out loud. 19. Wait, don't rush. Yeah, see, it's Miss Kimberly's 33, but I did do a video on. I think the max age. Now max age is 5 to 7 years apart. Okay, that it'll be a healthy relationship. Now, certainly you see some people that get together, and I got together, I remember I was like 32 with like a 51-year-old. So once in a while, you're going to have those times, and usually those times are going to be based on the other person just wants to have fun. But what happens when you get into those relationships that are just based on fun, even if both people agree to that in the beginning, is eventually that shit has to end, okay? And when that shit ends, no good. No good when that shit ends, bro, okay? Because when that ends, you feel every fiber in your body break down, and then you better make sure you have enrolled in your healthcare because you're going to need healthcare. Okay, your whole soul just broke down, and I hate to say it, but you're going to be Xanaxed up. I never took Xanax. I don't believe in it, but you know what I'm saying. I'm trying to prevent you from doing that. Okay, you don't want to do that. All right. CR, I really appreciate you and your channel. Well, I appreciate you, CR. Thank you, and I respect you, and I thank you for sharing your journey. I look forward to connecting with you and learning from you. Okay. No Man's Land. Hey, like-minded people tend to click the better. No doubt. No Man's Land, who's got a great name. Like-minded people are the people you want to connect with. And they're the people that are crucial to your journey because they're going to inspire you. Someone who isn't like-minded is not going to inspire you. Now, once in a while, you need somebody with a totally different perspective to keep you honest. We all, myself included, need to be kept honest because, we're humans. We have egos. We can become narrow-minded if we're not open, if we're not exposed to diverse perspectives. So, but the inner circle needs to be like-minded, but it also needs to be open-minded. Okay, big balance there that you need to have to be a positive leader, to a positive person, and to a healthy life. Okay. Football Butch review. We should do a meet up one-on-one day. Laugh out loud. Maybe, to be honest with you, I'm a little hesitant to even do that. I'm not that, I feel hesitant towards that. I respect and appreciate that. I don't know if I would ever do that to like meet an actual viewer. I don't know. I'm being totally honest with you, and it's no disrespect, but I don't know if I'd feel comfortable. I haven't decided. I mean, I'm still very early in my journey at 3 months with a channel. At this time, I wouldn't feel comfortable, and it's not out of disrespect. It's just that I want to be honest with you. And I want relationships based on honesty. Like if I invite you to a party and you don't want to come, always got to check your 6 o'clock when you live in a car. Never forget that, okay? And I'm living real time. This is real life. This isn't like a scene behind me like in a movie, like where they got like, this is real life. People walking behind me, okay? So, I want a relationship based on honesty. And if I invite you to something, I don't want you to have to come just because you feel I'm a nice guy. And if somebody invites me to something, I want them to be able to respect that. I don't feel comfortable going to something, or I just don't want to go to it. At this point in my journey, that's where I say I'm at, but I'm open-minded to if it evolves over time, we'll go from there. It's Miss Kimberly, laugh out loud, was engaged for 6 years? Miss Kimberly, man, come on, you know you want to be single. If you were engaged for 6 years and you didn't pull the trigger, you know what it is, okay? I'm loyal and I like having a relationship, but I hate, yep, you hate, what's your favorite color? But I guess you hate the real relationship. What's your favorite color? My favorite color is a green or blue, I would say. This is what I will say with colors. I love Easter colors, okay? Like the pastel blues, the Easter colors inspire me. I would say it like that. And I also like neon colors, okay? That would be my general answer towards colors. Tell me more about your life, blah, blah, blah. Then it doesn't work. Oh, yeah, you were just being a little bit generic. I answered it anyway. But shit, you know what I'm saying. I don't have time for that. Yeah, I hear that. No Man's Land. Sam, when did you get more easier sleeping in the car? So No Man's Land. Sam, when did it get more easier for you sleeping in your car? It's been a little bit tough for me lately. It took me to get fully settled into my nest of living in my car, I wouldn't say 4 to 6 months, okay? 4 to 6 months you will settle in, because your bedding setup and how you have it designed is going to change. Definitely in the first month. You're going to go back and forth a million times, okay? And 3 months you're settling it. 3 to 4 months you start to figure out a good way you like your car set up. And after 8 months, you've decided if you're going to stick to this lifestyle somewhat long term, okay? Because if you watch like the average YouTuber or the average whoever, 6 months to 8 months, they either, like, on average for a business, 3 to 5 years before they determine if they're going to fail or succeed. On average for a person living in their car, between 6 to 8 months, you're either going to give up the lifestyle and go back to a conforming house or an apartment, or you're going to keep going. So once you hit the 6 months mark, you're going to be very comfortable, and then after 8 months, you may not ever want to go back to a regular lifestyle unless your health or something changes, etc., etc. So I would say 6 months. Let's just say 6 months. 6 months. I really got in the groove after 6 months. Goonloso, Connecticut is in the building. I love Goonloso. See, I love Goonloso. And respect and love to Connecticut. I actually went to Connecticut my first time this year because I was driving up. Where was I driving up to? Was it Vermont? But I went through Connecticut for the first time. I mean, Connecticut is not too far from New Jersey, New York area. But I went through Connecticut, and Connecticut's a beautiful part too, man. So respect to Connecticut and Goonloso with 2 beautiful children on our profile picture. Love you, Goonloso. Thank you. Edit, I wasn't engaged for 6 years. Oh, I apologize. It's Miss Kimberly. We were together for 6 years, but we eventually got engaged. Why did you call off the engagement, or did he call off the engagement? That would be my question to you. It's Miss Kimberly. CR, I understand about meeting viewers. Love, love, love your honesty. Thank you, CR, and thank you for respecting and loving that. I appreciate that. Hi, my name is RJ. Laugh out loud. I just fucked a piece of. Okay. Hey. You want to do, you got to do you, and I understand you want to throw the comment out there. I understand. 6 years, laugh out loud. Yeah. Oh, you've been 6 years. You've been No Man's Land. Okay. I've met Caroline. You've met her. You've met Caravan Caroline, and in Arizona last March. Okay, so you went to the RTR in 2016. I would think that's what you meant. Just said hi, no awkwardness. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're going to go to an event like the RTR, which I made videos about, that's not really my thing, then obviously you're going to be a social person. Like I said, when I was in the church game, there was a thing called the Gospel Fest that every year at a certain time, people will go down to like Atlanta or they go down to T.D. Jakes' church, and they have like this big, everybody from the church community goes to this fest. When I was in my younger years, and you know what I mean, in the music, there was a summer jam in New York, and every year during the summer there was a huge rap festival or concert. So I never liked any of those things when I was into when I was younger and in a concert, and when I was in the church game. I don't like those convention type setups. So, but that being said, some people love them. They live all year to go to those things. I don't have that personality, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not that type of meet and greet person, because I don't like to go to events such as that are mainly, that's what those events are for, like for bonding and for meeting people. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I know me. Okay. No man's land. I think you've been hurt to the point of trust, Kimberly. Oh, no man's land. Trying to pick up on Kimberly. I'm not mad at that. I laugh out loud. I wasn't asking for your favorite color. I'm sorry, but I give it to you anyway. It's hard to read comments too and understand the context of the question. Some of my failures have come from reading a text message and not understanding the context behind it and taking it out of proportion, and vice versa. So that is the one thing you have to be mindful of when you read an email or when you read a text or when you read a message. You're not really getting the tone and the context to a certain degree. I mean, certainly you can always sense sarcasm and disrespect, and you have to cut that off. And, once in a while people are going to throw crazy shit out there. But that's the thing about, that is the value of physical presence, okay, such as meeting somebody and etc., is that there's no substitute for a physical presence and understanding someone's body language and demeanor and their context of what they're saying, etc., etc. No man's land. I've been there before. I hear that. Football Boots review. He's getting a good laugh. You got to laugh, brother. I hear that. Nomad. I'm not hurt. That relationship was long ago, and I've dated since. Dating is fun. Dating is fun. But not when it doesn't work out. That's true. Then it will drain you. You'll need health care after it drains you. I agree with that. Got to be careful. You got to be careful. Got to be very careful. Okay. Goon Loso, support and love also. Thank you. I love that heart emoji. Love to you, Goon Loso. You've always been very, very compassionate and very loving. And I think you have a great quality. You have that motherly instinct. I can feel that from you. Shay from the UK. No, it wasn't at the RTO. Okay, it wasn't at the RTO. I apologize. But you do a lot of traveling, and I give you a lot of respect, Shay, because traveling, the value of travel is diverse perspective and expanded mind. There's no substitute for that. It doesn't matter if you have a master's degree, if you don't travel, and travel does not have to mean you go all over the world. Travel can mean like you just go all over your state. I'm telling you right now, if you travel to different parts in your state, you're going to see different cultures, different perspectives, different mindsets, different physical environments, meaning you're going to go to a place where you see a lot of hills and trees, and then you're going to go to a place where it's barren and maybe a lot of sand, etc. You have to travel. Again, even if it's within your state, but movement creates, and seeing different things creates a broadened perspective, and that's very needed if you want to be a well-balanced person. I deal with long-term relationship. Ooh, that's a whole topic right there. It's Miss Kimberly. Long-distance relationship. I don't know about that one. When I was in the military, oh, you were in the military. Well, again, respect to It's Miss Kimberly. She did 4 years in the military, and that's the one thing about being in the military. You're going to see a lot of different places because you're going to travel a lot for the most part. And so a long-term relationship would kind of be understandable because she's not in one place long, so I could understand that. When I was in the military, so the relationship was complicated, yes. I won't say too many specifics, but yeah, I know a guy that dated a girl in the military, and it gets very complicated because there's a lot of moving parts. And the last thing a relationship needs is moving parts. You need as much consistency and agreement as possible. And long-term relationships or the military, there's a lot of moving parts, and it's very hard to get consistency and get traction on progress. Didn't really know each other. Yeah, didn't really know each other. I hear that. Okay, Love Doctor. Did you see Diddy's Instagram? Diddy Puff Daddy Sean Combs no longer wants to be known as such. He is now Brother Love. Okay, so you could call me Dr. Love. I'm okay with that. No Man's Land. That's true. Goon Loso throwing the fingers up. I see those subscribers are going, yes. Thank you, Goon Loso. Yeah, I also know the subscribers are an encouragement. And when you see them grow, they are an encouragement. But I'm humble enough to realize they go up and sometimes they go down. And sometimes somebody will see me do a video on talking about a car, and then I'll do something about like a life insight, and it's just not for them. And I respect that. And like I say, I am humble enough I'm thankful for the subscribers. I love when I see them go up, but I'm humble enough and realistic enough to know that they can go back to zero at any time. And that's why the end game for me is to use this as an opportunity for self-growth. Anything above that is going to be cherry on the top. But I'm not going to get to a point where I start to orchestrate my life to gain subscribers or to gain viewers, because then I'll lose my soul. And like I say, for me, I have a full-time job and everything. It's not about that for me. I mean, I'm not, you see, I don't have a Patreon account, it's no PayPal, it's not like that. And it also, for me being a single person with limited family, this allows me, like this right here at night, this 2 hours or whatever, that's why I really enjoy going live. It allows me to have some type of bond, but the type of bond that I know I'm good at, that at any time I can hit that finish button. And at any time for you don't want to hear me talk, you can leave. That works for me. It fulfills the need to connect Now, obviously, I mean, I have real life relationships with friends, with family members, with business, but on my outside of that, my getaway, this provides that extra level of fulfillment for me. Okay, that's what I'm trying to explain. CR, maybe a question for down the road, but I'm interested in knowing, how did you get to know yourself so well? Okay, CR, great question, CR. CR basically is asking me, how did I get to know myself so well, and how did I become so confident in being true to myself? Well, first thing I will say is failure. Okay, I failed because I want to be humble enough to admit that, and I still fail. And that's going to be the number one way you know yourself, is through failure. Why? Because when you fail, you realize the grace of God and you realize compassion. And if your self-discovery road doesn't start with humility and compassion, you're never going to know yourself. You're going to know the asshole version of yourself. And we can all be assholes, myself included, okay? And when you fail, you will learn compassion. And you better remember compassion and humility. There's a scripture that says pride comes before the fall. If the foundation of who you are is not humility and compassion, you're not going to know yourself. That being said, then you have to have a level of firmness and confidence. That was her next question. Confidence that you don't take shit from anybody, including yourself. Now, not that you don't take shit from anybody where you're a bully, but that you know when that you have to enforce healthy boundaries. You know when you have to stop giving yourself a pity party, when you have to stop allowing others to give you a pity party and a guilt trip. A guilt trip is a form of emotional manipulation. It may not be on your open enrollment for your healthcare. There may not be a line item that says, if you want guilt trip insurance, please check this box for an extra $50 a pay period. But let me tell you something. A guilt trip is the most severe form of emotional manipulation that you will ever experience. And there's no health insurance for that, okay? You will go emotionally bankrupt trying to keep up with a person who gives you guilt trips. Just say no. You have to have compassion, but then you have to have enough confidence to say, I'm going to fuck with people like that. I love them. I pray for them. I want God's grace to be upon them, but I'm going forward. Okay? Thank you for that question. CR, this is nice self-expression. Thank you. Okay. You would like to, Gunloso, I love Gunloso. You would like to know the answer to CR's, you would like to, yeah, CR is asking great questions, Gunloso. Gunloso, Gunloso's, I like Gunloso. Yeah, that was a great question, CR. Great feedback. Love it. And I'm just giving a time check. It's still early. See, it feels in the wintertime, you know, the sun starts to get, the sun sets earlier, okay, and it gets dark earlier, and that can bring anxiety. That can bring overeating. Okay, human nature is to overeat in the winter, especially what part of the world you're at if it gets cold. As I make this at 6:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay, in the United States, and let me give you a temperature check. 52 degrees Fahrenheit, because I know people overseas, they do Celsius. So it's all good. I'm praying that you don't text anybody crazy tonight, okay? And that you don't get a mass picture and then you think that picture was just for you. That's my prayer for you tonight, okay? But it's all positive. It's all love. And you have to go forward. You have to go forward in life and be mindful that open enrollment for healthcare is a daily discipline, okay? Taking care of yourself is part of self-discovery, okay? And you need that. You need that to be in a good zone, and you want that to be in a good zone. You not special. Laugh out loud. Yeah, somebody's not special. I hear that. Nobody's special enough no one is special enough to manipulate you, okay? And you should put one of the biggest mistakes I left, let me start in humility. One of my biggest mistakes was putting someone else on a pedestal. Whether it's my mother or whether it's a lover. You don't put anybody in this world on a pedestal. Your pastor, the president, the lover, your mother. You have to realize that everyone is human, meaning everyone is imperfect, okay? And you have to have realistic expectations with them and with yourself. Now, you need to have some like, I don't believe in, no expectations. When you hear no expectations and no judgment, even though I like that, and sometimes even on myself I say that, it's about to end bad, okay? Because that means you better not expect shit from me, because it's going to get bad quick. And no judgment means I'm reckless, and you better not even think of judging me. But I also say that sometimes. But be careful. That's my experience, all right? It's all good. It's love. We know that, we know life, life has many seasons too. There's different seasons of life. You know, CR 57, me 37, It's Miss Kimberly, 33. Sarah, I know Sarah's in the 40s, I believe. And Shay, I believe, is a little older in the UK. We're all at different seasons. And different seasons of your life have different meanings, and there'll be different things for you to explore. You won't be the same person at 20 or 19. Like Football Boots Review, he's 19. Like at 19, you're going to be in a totally different zone when you're 29. Then you're going to be in a totally different zone when you're 39, and et cetera, et cetera. So embrace the season that you're in, and that's part of life too. Embracing the season that you're in, not rushing through life. But I couldn't wait to grow up and to be on my own, and now I have to somewhat depend on others. So I enjoy getting more mature. Friends have seasons too. That's definitely true. Friends definitely have seasons, and discerning when the season is over is key. Discernment means that you have a level of insight for bullshit. Okay, let me just be very simple. Discernment means you know bullshit when you hear it, and you have to discern when a relationship is getting to that BS level, when there's no value being added, and you've outgrown a person, they have outgrown you, or you just had two different directions and it's time to leave the chat room. Okay, this live stream is no longer for me. That's cool. The season's over and it's time to go on, and I respect that. And if there isn't that respect there, then you start to lose yourself. Like I say, if I start to base what I'm saying, how I'm moving, on how many people join the chat room, how many subscribers I had, or for you, what relationship you're in, how many texts you get, how much attention you get. If you base how you move on that, you will lose yourself. That's why you see many people, after they go through a divorce, one of the common things I hear is, I lost myself. Okay? I lost myself. Once you lose yourself, you will never be happy. It doesn't matter if you're dealing with Prince Charming or Princess Diana. Once you lose yourself, you will never be happy in a relationship. You will only be happy when you are yourself and when you are free to be yourself. Okay? God will always give you discernment. Pay attention. Yeah, in my opinion, in my life experience, I agree with that. I believe you need God. You need the grace of God. You need His wisdom. You need His movement. However you define God, whether it's a higher being for you, whether it's whatever. But I believe in that. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. You guys know I said that before, but I respect people that don't. So I'm certainly not here to tell anyone else how to believe. But spirituality, mind, body, soul, is the big part of it. We talked about that often. And again, that's not on your open enrollment. That's not on your health care. That's why, too, that was part of my reason for structuring the conversation around that tonight, is because just because your open enrollment on your health care doesn't say, oh, here's a spiritual line item that if you want spiritual insurance, it's $50 extra out of your pay period. No, you're responsible for that. No one's ever going to subsidize your spiritual journey and how much you invest in yourself. You have to. You have to read different spiritual teachings, etc., because it's part of you. We're not just plants, okay? In my opinion. We don't just, breathe and grow. We have, souls. We have uniqueness. We have individuality. We have creative thought. We have creativity. We draw paintings. We make music. Inspiration is almost divine. Now, again, how you define it and what you want to believe is a personal decision, and no one should ever intrude upon that. People should give you your respect and your space. But spiritual journey is definitely part of self-awareness, self-happiness, self-growth, and peace and positivity, in my opinion. Okay? No man's land. So true. I lost myself. It's the worst place there. I hear that. Unfortunately, we ignore the signs. No man's land. Great comment. Great comment. Because I will also say at times in my life, I've ignored the signs. One of my favorite movies is Silver Linings Playbook. Okay? What's the name of that actress? The one from the Hunger Games. Great movie. It was about almost like mental struggles. Silver Linings Playbook, I believe it's called. And it was about like a guy who lost it after his wife cheated on him, and he got out of like almost a mental institution from anxiety and depression, etc. And he fell in love with another girl that also had, some mental issues, and everyone does to an extent. And And they connected on a certain level, and one of like the pieces of advice she gave him is never ignore the signs. And that was like part of like, I'm not going to tell the whole story, but that was a key component of them discovering who was meant to be in their life. Never ignore the signs. No Man's Land, great comment. That's wisdom, and watch that movie. That movie was magical. I love that movie. Shay from the UK. We have national health here. Yeah, that's good. I mean, Canada and the UK, they got that national health care, and it sounds like it's good. So I'm not against that. So we don't need health insurance. Yeah, I believe Canadians do too, and I think they may have. I mean, I've even heard Trump say that when other people like prime ministers and etc. visit, he said that you guys got great health care. We got to get better. So, but again, the government cannot solve how you take care of yourself. But that being said, like my mother, there's some people that can't control themselves. So you have to realize that you have to have compassion and realize that some people, I mean, Rob Kardashian, that guy can't control himself. My mom can't control herself. She knows she has diabetes and she's overweight, but when I go visit her, she's got a thing of like chocolate cakes on the side of her bed. And what am I going to do? Holler at a 70-year-old woman? Be disrespectful to a 70-year-old woman and tell her you should know better and get on a treadmill and not... Come on. I mean, if you haven't experienced that in life, then, you won't have the compassion. I've experienced it. And I've experienced what weight struggles myself, and which also makes me compassionate. I realize if it wasn't for the grace of God to give me a certain mental discipline and structure, that I wouldn't have been able to get out of that cycle of obesity. Certainly, though, there's a balance to that, too. I mean, you can't just say, all right, well, do whatever you want. We're always, it's the tough part is always going to be balance with society. And that's the tough part. It's balance, because anything on check gets to an extreme level and people abuse it. Balance and keeping thyself honest is a very hard, ongoing, never-ending process. Okay? Yeah, we need that in America. Yeah, I definitely would like to see a single-payer system eventually with the proper structure. That's the debate. But I would definitely agree with that, in my opinion. Why do girls cheat? Men cheat too. It's a give and take. I've seen both. I've broken hearts and I've got my heart broken. And we all want the hotter person. Not always, but there's not one or the other, in my opinion. But it's all relative to your personal life experience. So if you've gotten your heart broken more often than not, then life can become bitter, and you can become cynical. You can become cynical, whether it's in a relationship or whether it's in politics or whatever. If you can't give in to that darkness, you have to realize that, and that's where I failed, where I put somebody else on a pedestal. And it's my own fault for that, for expecting someone else to make me happy to a certain level. Only you can make you happy. Someone else can compliment you and bring out a higher level of inspiration, but only you can provide that core inspiration. Only you. And if you're depending on someone else to keep you inspired, that's where you failed. God can use other people to light your ignition, but you have to keep that fire burning. You do. Not your lover, not your mother, not no inspirational no man, not Bob Wells, not Tony Robbins, not Joel Osteen. Only you. Think for yourself and be yourself. Only you can keep you where you need to be. Not even universal health care. Only you. Okay? I'm not saying we may need all those things, but what I want you to do is I want you to be you, and I want you to take care of yourself and be the best you. Okay? Men cheat too, that's right. I personally think it's because of selfishness. Oh, yeah, we all selfish. I agree with that, though. Sometimes men are very selfish. Sometimes women are. We're human. All of us not being happy within. Yeah, it all comes from insecurity is a big part of that, all of us. And we all want it all, myself included. CR, self-care is definitely essential. There's no doubt about it. It has many components. That's very true. Very wide variety of things with relation to that. As you say, Sam, it's about consistency, and that's the hard part. Your consistency is key. Our society isn't geared towards promoting health. It's starting to. So that's where I want to be positive and optimistic. Like, example, 20 years ago, 10 years, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, you would not see the health nutritional value on McDonald's or on any fast food. Now, pretty much everywhere you go, the nutritional table for that food you're going to eat is displayed. When you would go through the drive-thru, 10, 15 years ago, you wouldn't see how many calories a Big Mac was. So information is the first step. We've started that. And the next step, I hate to say, is going to be regulation. You want to know the answer to healthcare? It's not universal healthcare. The first answer is you're going to have some restrictions on how many fast food restaurants can be in the same spot. Okay? You're going to, I don't even know how cigarettes are still legal. Cigarettes kill more people than anybody else. Forget healthcare system as far as universal as far as universal health care, just outlaw cigarettes. But that's where money comes into play. And that's where you're never going to eliminate all that, because part of it is just money. And cigarettes, you could tax the hell out of cigarettes. People still smoke cigarettes. You could tax the hell out of soda. It's going to help, because taxing it and making it more taboo and upping the age restriction on cigarettes has decreased society's dependence on cigarettes. Less people smoke than ever. And so that's what's going to be with unhealthy food. There's already a soda tax in Philadelphia. And I know somebody commented the other day. There will be taxes on unhealthy food, and society will more and more gear to that. But society is a lot more health conscious. Now, organic is an overhyped word, because organic, just because it doesn't have like modified genetics in it or whatever, doesn't mean it's healthy. It may not be modified, but it still can be unhealthy. So you have to be mindful of that. Don't fall for those fresh and organic words as marketing tools. You really have to read the sugar content. You have to have a plant-based diet, man. It's not easy, though. Not easy. I don't want to get into a big spiel. I'm sorry. Or be that person if they are. Self-care, yeah, we read that. I agree with you, CR. Great comments. It's Miss Kimberly. For some people, it's easier for them to cheat, Miss Kimberly, and have that other person break up with them to make that decision for themselves. Yes, some people self-destruct, so you have to be the one to end it. Many people are not able to make decisions, and I have compassion on that pain. Making a decision, especially in relation to a big decision and in a somewhat permanent, in a permanent way, making that decision is very hard. And that's why people keep fake friendships. That's why people keep text buddies, because making a permanent long-term decision is very hard. People, human nature, all of us, myself included, it's very hard to make decisions. And so a lot of times people will put you in a corner where you have to make the decision. And that's why, like I said, you have to be compassionate, but then you have to have a level of self-confidence, because if you don't, the tail will wag the dog. People will pull on your strings until they've brought you down with them, and then your regret was that, yeah, you were compassionate, but you forgot to also be self-confident. You have to have a balance. You have to have a balance. You have to have a balance. Never forget it. Would you ever write a book of your journey, Sam? Well, I did write a book when I first, in my early 20s. I self-published it, so it didn't go out to many people. I wrote a book called Age Doesn't Determine Wisdom. It was like 12 principles to success. The first principle was accountability, looking in the mirror and, owning your life, basically. But I did write a book. It's self-published. I still have the digital copy. I don't have any physical copies anymore. So right now in the digital world, nobody really reads books. I don't know if I would ever write another one, but I'll just, in this way, this is my written book, how I live and sharing myself through videos, etc. It's better to, most people, they say only read about 10 pages in a book on average. The average person only reads a full, legit 10, as far as like big books, nobody does that. So I think in this age, it's better to just do it through a video vlog. I just basically shared. We're going on an hour and a half. I shared about like 8 chapters of my thought process. So, you can pick apart my brain through what I'm communicating, and you can take what you believe is true and what inspires you, and you can leave what doesn't. And that's what any book, any inspiration, you take out what you feel is good and you leave what's bad, and you think for yourself, okay? Because your goal is to be you, not to be me, and to think for yourself. Critical thinking is huge to self-improvement. Native Americans have free health care. My ex-husband did from Apache Reservoir. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing that, Shay. Because it's a business, healthcare is a business. Yeah, healthcare is very much a business. You really think they don't have the cure? Yeah. Healthcare is a business, and so is McDonald's, and so is Chipotle, and so is pizza, and so is alcohol. They're all businesses, but businesses are based on demand, and humans, we all have weakness, so we all drive up the demand. So there's a business there. It's not corporations are all bad, and it's not corporations are all innocent. Okay, it's a combination. Citizens have to recognize there's a level of personal responsibility, and then governments and corporations have to realize there's a level of oversight of human nature. Then that balance of personal freedom and accountability versus oversight, regulation, and structure it will be the ongoing debate till the end of time. You need both. It's not corporations are all evil, because most corporations just employ regular citizens. So corporations are run by regular citizens, and so it's a balance. It's a balance. Again, like we say, when we get into our political discussions, I think that's the common theme, or society discussions, is society finding the balance and then realizing within that society there's so many perspectives that everyone has a different definition of balance. Example, I live out of my car. Some people say that's not balanced. So, it's relative to who you are. I want to say this. Never forget this when you get into a contentious argument about politics or anything. Most people can't keep their families on the same page. A family of 4, there's probably division amongst those 4 people. So don't be surprised when you see a country that has 350 million like the United States, or however many million the UK, millions, or anywhere in the world, Netherlands. I don't understand why people are shocked why everyone can't get along. I mean, most people's family with 4 people can't get along. It's very hard to keep people together. That's part of the human struggle. Okay. CR, Nomad, I have the same question when I hear him talk. Thank you, Nomad and CR. Yes, this is a sort of book. Yeah, it is a sort of book. It's just a digital one. And I thank you all also for writing your own chapter. Every comment that you leave and every conversation that you start and that you add to, you're writing a chapter in your own life. And that's what I want for you. I want you to start to define your own life and to write your own script. Okay, and that's what you do with every comment. With every comment, you're forming your mindset. You're creating conversation for the good or bad. So you have to be mindful of that. And I've been immature too. That's why sometimes when I see immature or negative comments, as long as they don't get crazy, I try to let them be, because I've been there. And I try to give people grace, and then I have to have boundaries. No Man's Land, so true. I had an ex hit me up 1 year later. Yeah, that's what happens. Somebody, it won't pan out for somebody else. What happens is when someone's in a relationship, they don't need you, okay? When they reach out, they need you because there's nobody else there for them. And basically what happens is when they're in a relationship, their Instagram is private, okay? And then when they break up, their Instagram is public, okay? That's how life goes, okay? Because when you don't have anybody paying attention to you, you crave attention. Human nature. We need a level of connection. We need a level of attention. Now, how much is relative to who you are. And what you do to seek that attention determines who you are, okay? What you're willing to do to seek attention determines who you are to a certain extent. So you gotta be careful. Not easy, because we all crave it. Nomad is life. Oh, David Kurgan, Superman's in the building, all right? Respect and love to Superman. Now, I know people may not know, I'm just gonna say my guy, David Kurgan, okay, is a guy I know personally in real life, and I call him Superman. Now, this guy is a beautiful guy, okay? Tall guy, girls love him, but too bad for the women, this guy's married, okay? And he's got a baby on the way, okay? Couple months away from having a baby, and he's got a very calm temperament. And I think if you're going to be in a relationship, you need that. You need a level of calmness. And that's why I give him credit. I don't have the temperament where if my spouse has a lot of anxiety, I want to just let it ride out and just be chill. Like, I'd rather be by myself. Now, what I like about Superman, David Kurgan, is that he has a good temperament to be in a relationship. He has the type of personality where he'll bring calm to the situation. Now, there's also a guy I know, I call him GP, that he has a very calm spirit. And when you're dealing with, in a relationship with somebody who has high anxiety, you better be a counterbalance to that. Because if both of you have high anxiety, tornado of pain. And there's going to be destruction everywhere. I mean, forget about wine bottles falling off. You're going to be throwing wine bottles at each other. Okay? And so forget about a wine bottle falling off the top of the shelf. Just be careful. You better make sure that you complement each other. That's my message. David Kurgan's, and whoever you are, whatever part of the world you're from. We got people from the UK tonight. We got people from Texas. We got people from California. We got people from New Jersey. Shout out to David Kurgan. And whatever relationship you're in, you better discern if it's a complementary relationship, meaning that you're not competing. If you're competing with the person you're with, your whole life is it's a football game, okay? And at the end of fourth quarters, you're going to end up with bruises, and you're going to look up at the scoreboard, and you're just going to see if you survived. You don't want that. This isn't fantasy football. This is real life. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Let's see where we're at with the comment game. And David Kurgan, No Man's Life. Thank you, No Man's Land. Thanks for your inspiration, Sam. Thank you, No Man's Land, for your comments and for your inspiration. I appreciate you. No Man's Land, laugh out loud. So true. You got to laugh, man. You got to have a good time in life. And you got to laugh at yourself. And you got to understand that if you're going to do anything creative, if you're going to be yourself, people are going to laugh at you. People laugh at me sometimes. And but I'm willing to face that because I want to enjoy life. Okay? If you're scared to be laughed at, you'll never go outside and walk when you're overweight. And if you don't go outside and walk when you're overweight, you're never going to be healthy. And you're going to be a recluse. People are always laughing at you. No Man's Land. Being single taught me to be more of a listener. That's wisdom. No Man's Land said being single taught him to be more of a listener than a talker. I think that's a sign also of a leader. Great job. Great comment, No Man's Land. Now that's wisdom. Now the only problem with wisdom, like I said, is it goes back to what Mike Tyson said. Everyone has a game plan until they get hit in the mouth. Okay? Emotions, when you get hit in the mouth with an emotional wave, that can override that wisdom. Now, but I still, that being said, what No Man's Land said is the proper goal and the proper mindset to say, look, I want to be a listener. Just by putting that comment, he just wrote a chapter in his life. Okay? He defines his life. And he says, my goal is to be a listener. Does it mean I'll always succeed? No. Because we already discussed, life is about you fail, you fall, you get up. But you have a goal, you have an aim, you have a focus. And that's important. And a focus to listen, to be a better listener is a great goal. It's a great focus. Good job, No Man's Land. I respect that. So what we got here is we got the Nomad Jeep Renegade. The windows are starting to fog up because I'm getting a little bit over-inspired. I'm getting a little bit fired up. And I got the car running. 6:35 Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to give a temperature check out there. Temperature check's 52 degrees and dropping. It's going to get down to 25 tonight. I'm going to be layering up. Respect that. Okay. And I'm going to sleep like a baby. I'm going to sleep like a baby. Okay. So, No Man's Land being sent. Oh, yeah, we talked about. And CRO, I love that Tyson quote. Yeah, that Tyson quote was powerful. And, yeah. Everyone has a game plan until they get hit in the mouth. Because once you get hit in the mouth, you're just all emotion. Because your game plan went out the window. That's so true. So true. Take deep breaths. Very important. Just breathe. Very good. I'm going to have a glass of water. If you got any comments out there, positive, what's going on in your world, man? Are you in the middle of a breakup? Are you sending text messages? Are you receiving them? Or are you getting lonely? Did you enroll in your health care? Number one cause of bankruptcy in America is medical expenses, all right? Never forget it. Well, we're living a dream. Yeah, I really enjoyed, man. I enjoyed the live chats, man. Connecting with you guys. It's been all positive. I feel good. Tomorrow's Friday. That's positive, right? I mean, let's get inspired by that. Miss Kimberly, my phone dry. I understand that. Yeah, well, you're getting dry spouts. You know, you're getting dry spouts where you don't have any people, and then all of a sudden you get a wave of everybody. You know, you get a lot of numbers, and a lot of people start texting you. That's like business. And this Miss Kimberly, that's what you're going to learn in business. You're going to go through dry periods where you don't get a lot of business, and then you're going to get so much business that you can't handle it, and it's almost like a bad thing. Same thing with relationships. Life is wave. Life is energy force. It's up and down, up and down. And you have to try to be somewhat even-tempered, and you have to take everything in perspective, meaning try not to take shit too personal. Try to laugh at yourself along the way. A sense of humor is key. It really is, man. And we all have a different sense of humor, so you don't have to always like, it's so funny. You know. Sometimes I laugh and I'm straight serious, but I'm having a good time in my mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? See, even sometimes when I tell people to go to Kick Rocks, like in my mind, I'm I'm laughing a little bit. Spring water. Now, what type of spring water does Sammy like? I like Poland Spring. Now, a nomad tip, I could even do a video on this. I don't keep, you buy these 24 packs of Poland Spring bottles, I don't keep that many because when you're living in your car, you have to maximize your efficiency in your space. So I'll buy gallons of water of this, and I'll put this water in the big gallon inside this thing so that I have a drinking thing and I don't have to drink out of this big thing. And then I just keep one of these and I just keep filling it up from the big jug. Okay, so that's sufficient. I have a drinking glass, and then when I'm done using this for water, then this is my urinal. This is my pee jug. You gotta have multi-purpose when you live out of your car. Okay, and you gotta be efficient. You don't want it. It's not like back in the day when I had a condo and I go to ShopRite or Stop and Shop, and there's water. There's 24 packs of water for sale. If you gotta get 3 for $12, and you load up your shopping cart and then you carry them up 12 flights of stairs and then you pack them away, and then you're ready to curse the world, and then you order a large pizza with a Diet Coke. No. When you're living out of your car, you get a couple gallons of water, and you keep one of these, and you refill it. You understand what I'm saying? Being single a year now, no man's land. It was a blessing in disguise. Being single is a blessing. And there's a lot of freedom. There's a little bit of loneliness, but there's different ways to combat that, such as this. Okay, you're connecting with people. You're fulfilling a need. We all have an embedded need as humans to connect, to share, to express ourselves. This is a form of that. Now, it's not a high level of intimacy, okay? Physical presence is a higher level of intimacy, and then obviously, if you're going to fully share your life on a committed basis, that's the highest level of intimacy. But one way to mitigate that is to have a level of connection, even though it's virtual, through means of this or whatever type of connection, and that helps. And you want to do things that help you, not hurt you. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to use the resources based on today's society to help you. You know, a phone, technology helps you. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. That connection got a little choppy. We're restarting. You know, that happens from time to time on a live stream. We have to restart it. But it's all good. So, love to you. All right. Being single for a year now. No, man. It was more of a shock beginning. God is good. Yep. And today I'm a nomad thanks to all you guys. Well, no man's land, thanks to you and thanks to all the people that came before me. YouTube helped me when I started downsizing my life, and I saw people, whether it's the popular people you see on YouTube or the non-popular people, that just showed me that it was a possibility to live out of your car. Because I also thought it was taboo and stupid, etc., etc. So, but when I saw a few people, and specifically people that weren't living like a crazy life, just like people that were inspired in their own way, that helped me to say, well, maybe I can do it. So YouTube has been a blessing to me in that manner. It's Miss Kimberly. You should watch this documentary called Tap. I know there was a movie called Tap, but I never heard of a documentary called Tap. Look for it on YouTube. I will. The water bottle industry is horrible. You may be right with that. So I will look into that. You may be right. Kingfish the Golf. God bless you. Good. Thanks for joining, Kingfish. Good to meet you. Being single is a blessing. I agree with that. That got you a like. Yeah. Oh, thank you for the like. I'll take any encouragement I can get. I appreciate that. I'm not pandering. If you don't want to like, I don't want to make anybody do anything they don't want. But Kingfish, one is thank you for connecting with me and thank you for the like. I sincerely appreciate it and thank you. Thank you. Oh, Sarah. Sarah's one of my favorites. So true. My phone and social media help me combat loneliness. Well, yeah, that's true. And like you can come and go as you please. That's true. That's true. I mean, Sarah, we've had, private conversations on social media, and that we're very similar in that mindset where, we like our alone time. And we know ourselves. I mean, you're close to my age. I'm 37. I think you're in your early 40s. Once you're at that age, you kind of know yourself. And that's why many marriages, they say statistically, marriages that happen before the age of 27 have a higher rate of failure. And then the older you get and you get married, there's no guarantees, but you have a greater chance of the marriage holding. That being said, there's still divorce is basically a 50-50 crapshoot. 50% chance it work, 50% it won't. But what I'm basically trying to make the point is, as you get older, now I'm a middle-aged person. Life expectancy in the U.S. for a male is 78 years old. Okay? 76 for a male, it's 80 for a woman in the U.S. On average, the average U.S. life expectancy is 78 years old. So take 78 and divide it by 2. I mean, you're right in the 39 area, something like that. So we're middle-aged. We're halfway through our life. So when you're halfway through your life, hopefully you've kind of come to know yourself. And at that point, you want to start making decisions based on who you are, not who you want to pretend to be. And for a while, I was pretending to be somebody else. I was pretending to be Mr. Suave and Mr. This, or I bet I can make this person fall in love with me. I bet I can act like, I'm a high guy on Wall Street. I went through that phase where I was acting like somebody I wasn't, and I wasn't being myself. And that doesn't lead anywhere positive. And like I say, part of success is failing. I failed in certain ways. Okay? And you pick yourself back up. Okay? By the grace of God. Divorce rate in Southern California is over 70%. Really? I knew real estate was high in California. I didn't know the divorce rate was that high. That's crazy. That's high. 70%. You bet. Let me tell you something. You think getting married, you better not go to Southern California. You better go there strictly for the weather. Oh man, it's amazing. I want to get to the West Coast. So we all know, like, if you guys look on YouTube, a lot of the nomads, they're from the West Coast because there's a lot of free land to camp on and stuff. But it's in the middle of nowhere. I don't want to live that life. I want to be close to Starbucks. It's all relative to what you want out of life. But I do want to go to the West Coast. Think it's beautiful. Gotta go. It's Miss Kimberly. Have a good night. You too. Miss Kimberly, thank you for everything. Your profile picture looks beautiful, and your comments are beautiful. Your mind is beautiful. Stay inspired and keep doing your thing. And thank you for always joining. I appreciate you. Have a positive night. And time check. It's 6:45. I'll let this run a little bit longer because I have the time. I'm not in a rush to do anything. And we'll go from there. Other than that, I'm very thankful. And Renegade windows continue to fog up. Temperatures continue to drop. Right now, my car is running. And that's the other thing. Like, if you do live out of your car, I mean, your car is a generator. You know, you can run it. You have central air, central heat, like I said in the past. And then at night, when you shut it down, I mean, it's toasty. It's going to stay warm for a while. And I crack the windows. I let that air flow. It's all part of the process. But the weekend is upon us. Tomorrow is the weekend. Now, as you get older, that has different meanings. For some people, the weekend is, well, I'm going to, spend time with my kids, or I got to take care of. I got to take my kids to soccer practice, or I got to do whatever. For some people, weekends are recklessness, right? Because Friday night, we talk about society peer pressure. Friday night, you're going to have peer pressure to cheat off your lifestyle, to eat something unhealthy. Friday night is like, oh, it's society, it's pizza night. Friday night, it's time to go to a Mexican restaurant and have happy hour. Why? Because society says the weekends are time to really go crazy. Now, I want to say that in balance. You also got to have fun in life. So I'm certainly not preaching to live like a monk. I don't believe in that. So, if you want to have fun responsibly and go, and if you can have a few drinks, and if you can have see, my personality is I can't go have just a few nachos or something. Like I'll eat too many nachos, and I'd rather just have none rather than just tempt my mind. You understand what I'm saying? So everybody's different. I don't want to tell anybody I live. And I drank, I smoked for years. I don't do any of that now, so I'm not going to begrudge anybody. And I realize that some people can do it and they can keep a healthy balance, and more power to you. I mean, I want you to be happy. Shay from the UK, nearly midnight. Good night from the UK. Good night to you, Shay. Thank you for adding your voice. And you live an interesting life, and we're all learning a lot. Thank you for sharing the different things that you shared with your job and with your husband, etc. God bless you, Shay. Have a peaceful night's sleep. I pray that you snuggle up like a teddy bear, and that you have all positive dreams, and that you wake up tomorrow fully recharged, and that you continue to push forward in your journey. Thank you for your love and support, Shay. Love you. Love and appreciate you. Thank you, Shay. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, this is positive, man. This is positive energy, and keeping yourself inspired about life, breathing, eating healthy, having positive relationships. 2 months quit smoking. Oh man, there's a good comment here. I don't want to say that name right. Shiloh. I'm going to say Shiloh because I don't want to mispronounce your name. So 2 months quit smoking. 55. I feel better. Congratulations. 2 months you quit smoking. I want to say this. One is, you're going to fail again. In my experience, I quit for 2-3 months, then I failed, then I felt like shit, and then I hope you don't, but I'm only reason I'm sharing that with you is because I want to encourage you that if you end up failing and you have another cigarette, don't let that negate all the progress that you made. If you fall, you get back up. I think they say like after 3 to 6 months, your lungs begin to start to self-repair, even at the age of 55. Congratulations, stay inspired. And know that that's one of the best decisions you ever make in your life. We talked about healthcare and the importance of healthcare. The number one cause of preventable deaths is tobacco smoke. Okay? Number one cause of preventable deaths is tobacco-related illness. Number 2 is obesity. Okay? So if you can stop smoking and you can eat healthy, you've given your life a higher quality. So Shiloh, and that's how I'm going to pronounce it because I don't want to be disrespectful. Thank you for sharing that, and that's an inspiration. You keep going forward, brother, or woman, I'm not sure. because I'm not sure how to pronounce that. John Maloney. Now, I don't know if that's John Maloney that I know personally. First time listener, enjoy your messages. John Maloney, thank you. I know a John Maloney, so I don't know if you're the one I know or if you're a different person. But John, one is thank you. Thank you for the positive feedback, and that means a lot to me. And whether you're the John I know or not, I sincerely appreciate that. I appreciate the positive feedback. It means a lot to me, and I don't take it lightly. Just by you taking the time and effort to write. Yes, it is the one I know. It is the John Maloney I love. Now, I am not going to say how I know him because some people want their privacy. But all I will say is I've known John Maloney for several years. He's from New Jersey area, and I also know one of his partners. It's kind of like a work-related thing. I also know one of his partners from years ago. John Maloney, from my experience, is a man of good integrity. He's got a great, calm demeanor. Now, you never know someone until you're in their own personal life, so I don't put anyone on a pedestal. But I at least can acknowledge, in my experience with the man, I love his temperament. I really admire people that have the understanding, we all got to have a little passion. But I love John. And John, thank you, brother, for checking me out. And I appreciate you. I respect you. You know that. And we've spent a lot of time together as far as in different situations. And in all my time with you, I want to say this. You've been a blessing, and you have a great temperament, and I think you're a leader. I really do. And I appreciate you. I want to say that. Shiloh, I would break your arm for a smoke. But ain't going to happen. I am not smoking. I'm done. Shiloh, I respect your tenacity. Shiloh, and again, forgive me if I'm saying your name wrong. I respect and I think in the beginning, I will say that to break any habit, you need a level of that. I hear you. I hear where your mindset is at. I'm not going backwards. That's where your mindset is at. I respect that. And that's this mindset you need to make progress. With the understanding of just, you got to realize that we're all human. So I don't want you to not have grace if you fail, but I don't want you to fail. And I respect what you said. I hear you. I hear what your mind is at. And so love and respect you. Love and respect. Love and respect. It's positive, man. We're going forward in life, and I love to hear people, man, saying, you know what, I want a better life. Whether it's to downsize their life and live a simpler. John Maloney, thank you, Sam. I'll see you soon too, brother. Continue to pray for me, brother. It's gonna be like 20 some odd degrees next couple nights, but I'm gonna be all right. Thank you, brother. I will see you soon. Love and respect to you. But it's good to connect with positive people. I enjoy that. Very good, very good. But changing your life and changing it for the better is very inspiring. Of course, failure is very uninspiring, and I've failed many times. So that's the only reason I'm sharing that. Shiloh, thanks, Sam. Stay warm tonight. Thank you, Shiloh. Thank you for joining, man. And thank you for sharing. I appreciate you. Stay warm. Thank you. I'll share with you tomorrow if I made it. You'll see me with icicles, but I should be fine. Like I said. But thank you, brother. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. And keep you in my thoughts and prayers because I know the journey. Sorry about that, guys. I got booted off. We'll keep it on a little bit longer. It's 6:52 p.m. So again, feel free to come and go as you please. I want everybody to have that freedom and love, and thank you again for everyone joining. Yeah, but I feel good. I'm actually a little bit hot right now. I'm gonna crack my window a little bit, and I can get some airflow in here. My windows are fogging up. I'm gonna let it run a little bit longer, and just enjoy the night, and go from there. I will try to do the live streams. Like I say, it's a daily goal of mine. I would say Wednesday through Saturday will probably be somewhere between 5 and 8. Sometimes I'll maybe start it a little bit later. Sometimes I'll start a little bit earlier. And sometimes I'll end it a little bit earlier. I'm not sure. We'll go with the flow. But thank you, Moon Dancer, too. I know she suggested I made a video. I'll try to give a little pre-warning when I go live, etc. But just back to 2, just be mindful of, don't get overwhelmed, okay? Don't allow yourself, sweet dreams, Sam. CR, this was so cool. CR, this was amazing. And you added great comments. So CR, thank you, man. Great job. And good night to you. Peace and love. Peace and love. Thank you. I'm going to stay on a little bit longer. But again, I want everyone to feel free. I know it is getting late and everyone has their own life. I'm just going to share a little bit more and I will close it out soon. Don't get overwhelmed, okay? Part of my initial thought with this live stream was, in addition to the freestyle session like we had, is when you have those open enrollments and when you enroll in healthcare, whatever, it's that when you have that many choices in life, period, you get overwhelmed and you don't want to log on to life. When you get overwhelmed, you won't take the next step. And when you don't take the next step, you can't get to where you want to be. To get to where you want to be requires small daily steps and falling down in between those daily steps. Failure is part of it. But the biggest thing you're going to face is to not allow yourself to get overwhelmed, okay? And to not let that anxiety take hold of your mind. It's all love. It's all love. And we want to be thankful. You want to every day, you want to end your night with whatever you can be thankful for, be thankful for. And if you have a job, you want to be thankful for your job. If you have positive people in your life, you want to be thankful for the positive people. Call your mother, okay? Call someone that's positive to you, and just make sure that you acknowledge them. And if they're not positive for you, boundary up. All right, you gotta have boundaries. And like I say, sometimes that means even changing your number. So boundaries and acknowledgement are key. You have to acknowledge the right people, and you have to boundary up against the wrong people. And you have to take care of yourself. That's key. Definitely key. And so all that's part of the overview of a healthy mind as we go forward. People are still, man, rushing home from work. I'm looking out my window. Traffic's still crazy. And I'm thankful I'm not caught in the middle of that tonight. Outside of that, I don't want to begin to drag this out. So what I will say is, I know I was scheduled to maybe go to 8, but I want to respect your time, and I don't want to force saying anything, because that's not wisdom. And so I'll end it. It's almost 7 p.m. here Eastern time. I want to thank everyone for joining. I want to thank you for your inspiration. I want to thank you for being yourself. I want to thank you for the love, and I want you to know that everything you do matters. Don't buy into the mindset of it doesn't matter. And don't buy into the mindset of you don't make a difference. And don't buy into the mindset of you can't be better. Be yourself. It does matter. Stay inspired. Play your music. Go for walks. And have healthy boundaries. Sarah, I love you too. Stay warm and 72 degrees and beautiful in California. I hope for you. Thank you, Sarah, for all your love, for all your friendship, and for thank you. That's all I'll say. Thank you. Stay safe, bro. Kingfish, it was great to meet you. Thank you, Kingfish. Peace and love to everyone. You get the peace emoji with smiley face. Stay inspired.